Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about the lost mattress, and Krabs vs. Plankton. First, I'm going to talk about the lost mattress. Enjoy! In the opening, SpongeBob and Squidward arrive late for their jobs at the Krusty Krab, only to find out it has not opened yet. While Squidward is just mildly curious about this, SpongeBob becomes distressed about being late until a very cranky Mr. Krabs arrives. Unfortunately, Mr. Krabs hurts his back due to years of sleeping on his old, lumpy mattress, which he says is like trying to sleep on broken coral. Feeling bad for Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob suggests that he and Squidward buy him a new mattress, but since he has no desire to waste his hard-earned money on his cheapskate boss, Squidward refuses, so Patrick joins SpongeBob in buying a new mattress instead. The two go to a massive mattress emporium, where they try what feels like every mattress in the store until finally buying a comfortable new mattress to replace his old one. They make a card for him, which Squidward says he signs for all of them, since he accuses SpongeBob and Patrick of kissing up to Mr. Krabs to make him look stupid, and expects that a reward will come from this, so he really only signs it for himself to take credit for SpongeBob and Patrick's work. The next night, the three of them surprise Mr. Krabs with his new mattress. However, when Squidward reveals to Mr. Krabs that he had his old mattress taken away to the dump, Mr. Krabs gets furious at him, revealing that he kept all his cash in that mattress. This is shocking to Squidward, who asks if Mr. Krabs has even heard of a bank, which the crustacean gives an unclear response to. Krabs then goes into a cash coma, and ends up in the hospital, where the doctor explains that only the return of his money can prevent his coma from progressing to death. Squidward insists that it was SpongeBob's fault as it was his idea to get Mr. Krabs a new mattress, but a police officer shows him the card which Squidward wrote his lie on to take credit for SpongeBob and Patrick's work, saying, "This was all my idea, love Squidward." So he states that Squidward is solely responsible, and as such, if Krabs dies, Squidward will be charged for his death and sent to jail. Enraged by this, Squidward begins to threaten to kill SpongeBob if he doesn't get Mr. Krabs' mattress back from the dump, but the police officer stops him from doing so, and Squidward instead nervously says that he'll help SpongeBob and Patrick recover the mattress instead. Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick go to the dump to retrieve the mattress, only to find that there is a vicious guard worm sleeping on top of it. Meanwhile, the doctor realizes that Mr. Krabs has no insurance and therefore cannot afford his hospital room, so he has him moved out into the hallway in front of the vending machines. At the dump, Squidward tells SpongeBob and Patrick to go inside and get the mattress after warning them not to wake the worm, since it will inevitably attack them. They climb the fence, but they end up becoming distracted by the view, causing a furious Squidward to shake and overturn the fence. He accidentally traps himself inside and wakes the worm, who promptly mauls him, much to SpongeBob and Patrick's horror. At the hospital, the doctors surgically remove Mr. Krabs from the building and leave him on the sidewalk to get to the Nutty Nut Bar, a candy bar in the vending machines he is blocking. Squidward then devises another plan, where SpongeBob and Patrick distract the worm and get attacked by him while he retrieves the mattress, much to their horror as the worm closes in on them. The worm, however, becomes obedient to SpongeBob when he sees the wooden spoon he is holding up. SpongeBob unintentionally throws it towards Squidward for the worm to fetch, and Squidward is subsequently attacked by the worm yet again. Back at the hospital, Administrator Flotsam is upset that Mr. Krabs has been left outside on the sidewalk, and asks the doctor what he was thinking because they're trying to run a business and can't leave patients on the sidewalk, so the nurse pushes him down the hill away from the hospital. Next, Squidward has SpongeBob and Patrick dress as choice cuts, so that the worm will eat them, telling them that they are in Halloween costumes and that when they say trick or treat to the worm, he will realize that he forgot about Halloween and will leave to go get candy so they can take the mattress, which is obviously false and only meant to get the worm to attack them instead of him. However, when Squidward proudly expresses his certainty he will not get attacked this time, Mr. Krabs suddenly rolls down the hill into the dump, running over Squidward, and lands on his old mattress, reviving him almost instantly. He effortlessly throws the worm aside and promises his money he'll never leave it alone again. Mr. Krabs notices SpongeBob and Patrick as they approach him and barks at them, but when they reveal themselves, Mr. Krabs greets them and asks why they are dressed as meat. SpongeBob tells him that they are not just meat, but also choice cuts. An annoyed Squidward then gives up trying to get the worm to attack them, right before the worm lands in his arms and growls at him, prompting Squidward to throw him aside before he starts chasing Squidward out of the dump and up the hill road Mr. Krabs came from as the episode ends. Next, I'm going to talk about Krabs vs. Plankton. Enjoy! In the opening, a depressed Plankton wakes up and goes to the Krusty Krab one morning without a plan to steal the Krabby Patty's secret formula, telling Karen that he will wing it, not knowing what he might get himself into. When he goes inside, he slips on the floor where SpongeBob just mopped and is ridiculed by Mr. Krabs. Two customers observing the incident comment that there should have been a wet floor sign and that they would sue Krabs for everything he possesses if that happened to them, including the Krabby Patty's secret formula. This gives Plankton an idea and he pretends to be badly injured and, after paramedics come and pick him up, Plankton threatens to sue Mr. Krabs unless he gives him the formula, but Mr. Krabs angrily refuses. Fearing that he will lose the case, Mr. Krabs hires a lawyer named Richard A. Bottomfeeder, who tells him that he will not charge him anything unless they win and that they will counter-sue Plankton for everything he owns. Later, in Mr. Krabs' office, SpongeBob wants to read his testimony speech to Mr. Krabs. However, Mr. Krabs declines SpongeBob's testimony and tells him that he could be more of a liability than an asset. Unfortunately, as they prepare to leave for the court hearing, Richard slips and falls, breaking his back, leaving him unable to go to the trial. He gives SpongeBob his briefcase, saying that they only need what is inside the briefcase to win the case. SpongeBob takes Richard's suit and arrives late to the trial, dubbing himself SpongeBob Lawyer Pants to Judge Stickleback. When the plaintiff Plankton first takes the stand, however, SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs realize that Richard did not give them the combination of the suitcase. Plankton comes to court in a wheelchair and a few casts and bandages, and gives a convincingly painful testimony, dishonestly earning the sympathy of the jury. Meanwhile, SpongeBob desperately tries crazier and crazier attempts to open the briefcase, but to no avail. Plankton uses the fact that Krabs does not own a wet floor sign as evidence against him, while SpongeBob only inadvertently demonstrates Krabs' unhealthy greed in his attempts to defend him. Mr. Krabs also accuses Plankton of being a fake, but the courtroom goes against Krabs, not seeing Plankton's more apparent dishonesty. SpongeBob then calls Squidward to the stand, but Squidward testifies against Mr. Krabs, saying that this is his first day off in 3 years. Disheartened, Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob to give up, but SpongeBob refuses and gives a short sermon telling him that they cannot quit now. When he finishes, he hits the case lightly, and it opens unexpectedly. They peer inside, only to find a Krabby Patty. Suddenly realizing that they can win the lawsuit once and for all with this, SpongeBob calls Plankton back to the stand and entices him into confessing his attempted theft with the Krabby Patty, eventually getting Plankton to expose his true actions. Plankton runs for the exit with the Krabby Patty, but is quickly stopped by Mr. Krabs, who eats it, much to Plankton's dismay. The judge asks the jury to go into deliberation and they find Mr. Krabs not guilty, though they still proclaim that he is admittedly cheap. Plankton is then arrested off-screen. Mr. Krabs thanks SpongeBob and apologizes for not accepting his help in the first place. SpongeBob then gives Mr. Krabs a homemade, wet floor sign, riddled with nails and a shoddy paint job. Mr. Krabs, while initially surprised, accepts the gift because it is free as the episode closes. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.